friends, welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and if this is the first video of mine that you're catching, welcome. My name is Rachel and I am a full-time reseller on sites like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop. And today I'm doing a ship with me video. I'm going to show you everything that I'm shipping out from this past weekend, which would have been Friday afternoon, October 31st through Monday morning, today, the day I'm filming this, November 3rd. So if you want to see what sold for me over this past weekend, definitely stick around. So I like to do these ship with me videos in addition to my unboxings, my updates, my strategy videos, just to kind of show you in real time what's going out for me, what kind of things are selling, how much they're selling for, and hopefully it helps give you some insight into my business and helps give you some ideas of different things you can do with your own reseller business. So if you like content like this, before I get started, do consider subscribing to the channel. I love bringing you reseller content. Hit that like button if you could, and let me know what was your best sale from this past weekend. I would really love to know how things are going for you and what's selling for you. We can share with each other in the comments, so definitely leave a comment down below. All right, so I'm just going to get into it. Everything is like piled up here in front of me, and I'll just kind of chat with you. This is one of my favorite ways to just kind of keep in touch and talk about what's going on in the reseller world and just kind of get work done at the same time. I did, by the way, I think since the last time we spoke, I got my USPS Ground Advantage, the ones that you can use on Poshmark orders. So I am going to use some of these today if I can. I do think I've got a few pairs of shoes here and such that I can use for Poshmark orders. So the first one is actually going out in a big one. I'm still waiting on, I have not received my envelopes. I got some padded envelopes, which I don't use too much, but I've got the boxes, and they were out of stock on the poly mailers, I think they are, which I guess I can understand why. I'm sure that probably those are the most commonly ordered, and I did not order my stuff right away. I waited like a week or so until like all of the chaos went down, and then it took them a while to email me back actually once I placed the order via email. Which I'll link that below if you are a Poshmark seller and you want to order supplies. I just emailed them, but I'll send you the link to the blog where it explained how to get them. You can call as well. But good news, I do have my my Christmas mailers, my holiday mailers that I pulled out as of November 1st. I'm not one to jump on the holiday bandwagon so early, but when it comes to the mailers, I feel like I kind of have to. So they're out, and I will also link that down below. I order my holiday mailers from You Pack and Ship. They are on eBay, which is where I get them from. So I'll link that down below as well if you like these and you want to get yourself some holiday mailers. They aren't free, obviously, like the free ones are, like the USPS ones, but I mean, I write them off as a business expense, and they are festive, and I like them, and my customers seem to like them too, so. The first thing I have going out is this Kate Spade. This is called, what is this called? The Evangel Larchmont Avenue Leather Satchel in Cityscape Gray. So she's a very pretty bag, and I had a brief stint of sourcing on Depop. Well, really just when I first started online sourcing, I went for Depop kind of like hard. And I was finding some, what I would say, decent stuff on the lower end or like mid-tier brands. I got a lot of Kate Spade, Coach, Rothy's, and Doc Martens during that brief couple weeks time. This was not a good buy, but this was something I purchased in my very first week, and it would have been a good buy. I ran comps and all that. But what I didn't notice is that there's this like discoloration spot. So probably there was a stain on it or something, and somebody tried to get it off. And like it discolored the leather, which I did not really see in the pictures. I even went back and looked at the pictures after I got it, and like I can see it, it's obvious now, but when I looked at the pictures, it's like, okay, you can tell it's there now that I know it's there, but it's not super obvious. Like it almost looks like maybe the light was just hitting it and it wasn't a stain. So lesson learned for me. I did learn to look better for that. I haven't really sourced any more Kate Spade or Coach bags from Depop. I've been really focused more on shoes. But this one, at the end of it all, I paid $23.19 back in July, and it sold for $40. So after fees and stuff on Poshmark, I made $23. Not the greatest profit, but at least I still made a profit. And considering the stain on there, honestly, I was kind of just hoping to break even on this. So I'll still take a $23 sale. That's good for me. You know, at least, as I was learning, like I didn't lose money. I made a little bit of money. So I think reseller tuition, right? I think that at the end of it all, I am happy with how this went. And I learned to look a little better for stuff like this. So she actually fits really nicely in this Ground Advantage box. I'm going to put some tissue paper over the top for protection. And she's pretty well stuffed from when I initially took the photographs. I left the stuffing in there, so I'm going to go ahead and ship it just like this. All right, next going out are these Nike Air Force One. These are the low pixel leopard print. These are a size 7.5, and they're actually pretty clean. A little bit of like just probably from being walked on outside, but otherwise they're practically, I mean, there's a little bit of scuffing on the white, like, but they look like maybe they were worn once. There's a little dirt here. These were also a Depop purchase. Again, back when I knew I wanted to start sourcing online, but I was a little bit scared to do luxury. I mean, I'm still scared to do luxury. But I wanted to start with, again, something a little more mid-tier, so I could practice like really looking up comps on things that I couldn't touch or see. And this again was something I purchased during that time. So actually I purchased these on an eBay auction. These I got for $32.80 back in August, and they sold for $40. So I made a whopping $7.20 on these. I would not source these again. I mean, I would, in this condition, I would source them again at like half or less of the price, probably less. And in fact, I think I only paid like maybe $15 to $20. I don't remember the exact like auction price, but then with the shipping and stuff, it didn't end up being worth it, unfortunately. So, again, another learning opportunity. I was learning how to source, buying like newly listed stuff. I was trying my hand at some online auctions. Again, I made $7 and I learned a lot by doing this. So I have no regrets. Not the best profit, but you know, that's why I'm here to tell you what's working for me, what maybe isn't working for me, what I've tried. You know, I'll share everything with you guys. So these I'm going to put in one of these Ground Advantage boxes, since this is also a Poshmark sale. Next up are these Vionic. These are the Kensley loafers, and they're like they're not leather. I doubt these are real leather, but they're like a patent leather. It doesn't say. They're like a patent leather with a white sole, and they're pretty much new. They are new. And I actually bought these for myself on Poshmark. I wanted a pair of loafers, and I like wearing Vionic shoes. I've purchased Vionic shoes many times in the past for myself, but they're pricey. If you buy them on the website, they tend to be pretty pricey. So I wanted to buy a pair for myself secondhand. Number one, because, you know, the price, you know, save a little money. And also too, I prefer to buy secondhand for myself whenever I can. So, I've bought enough Vionic shoes that I thought I knew my size, and these are just way, way too big on me. There's no way I could get away with wearing these, so I just relisted them. So these, I paid $40 on Poshmark, plus of course the shipping and all that, and they sold on eBay for $50. So, I mean, after my fees and stuff, I probably am just about even, or maybe even in the hole a little bit, but you know, that's the gamble you take buying secondhand. Just happens that way sometimes. So not mad about it, but I mean, I am bummed that they didn't fit, but they did sell only within like a week. They were only listed like a week, and then someone else bought them. So you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So I'm actually going to try shipping these in a Ground Advantage box. I'm sending them eBay Ground Advantage. I haven't tried yet. Like, I've been trying to only use these for Poshmark because that's how I ordered them. But I just looked. I have no other boxes that will fit these shoes. I'm really low on boxes, and I ordered my quarterly eBay supplies and they're not here yet. So this is one of the times I'm going to break the rules a little bit. Please let me know in the comments if you've shipped Ground Advantage boxes on eBay or any other platform other than Poshmark. I hope it gets there. Fortunately, my local post office is pretty good to me. Like, if there's a problem, they usually just tell me or they'll bring it back to me. That happened the other day with a package. I put the wrong, like, I reused a box and I didn't cover the original label and they brought it back to me. So that was nice of them. Okay, next up is this J. Crew factory long sleeve pajama shirt. So I think it was over the summer. I had bought a whole bunch of J. Crew. It was from Boutique by the Box. It was labeled as loungewear, but it ended up being all pajama sets. And that one actually did really, really well for me. Most of it is sold, majority of it, but I have a few of these like individual mismatched like bottoms that didn't have tops and vice versa. So at this point, I'm kind of just trying to sell them off for whatever because the majority of everything else is sold. I did my recap on that box. I've made the money I'm going to make. So this one sold for $8.99 on eBay plus shipping. Glad to see it go. And I'm glad I get to use one of my holiday mailers. So excited. I absolutely love these. Next up is this. This is Madewell Alexa Chung. And this one did not sell for as much as I wanted it to. This one was, this is from a Boutique by the Box J. Crew Madewell tops and bottoms box I purchased back in April of last year. So in the springtime. This sat through the winter. And I actually had it listed pretty high based on comps and based on how much it sold for online. And I had some like lowball offers, including one for $40, which now I'm kicking myself. I should have taken. I thought I could get more for it. So I kept going back and forth with the lady. And I ended up not selling it. Well, it sold over the weekend for $32 by offer. And by offer, I mean like my Poshmark VA sent out a 10% off with discounted shipping, which the buyer accepted. So it sold for less than $40, I guess is what I was trying to say. And I sat on it longer. So I do wish I would have taken that $40 offer way back when. You know, that's why I will say, like, if you're making decent money, and unless you're absolutely confident that it will sell for higher in a relatively short period of time, sometimes it's better just to take the offer. Learn the hard way myself on that one. Sometimes I have to like be humbled by my own mistakes like that. And then it's like, it reminds me like, oh yeah, that's why you just accept offers. Which, by the way, I am still using Poshmark VA to send offers for me and to share my closet. I know Poshmark had that big algorithm change, but I am still sharing my closet with Poshmark VA. I am still sending out automatic offer to likers. And I have noticed some other things have changed with the algorithm, but those two things have not really, at least that I've noticed, been really impacted by any change. And I think it's still been very beneficial to me to do those things and have Poshmark VA do those things for me. So I know there's been a lot of talks about whether or not using a service like Poshmark VA is still beneficial with the changes. My vote is yes, absolutely. I do want to make a video on that about like what I've noticed with the algorithm changes, but for what it's worth, if you're somebody that's been thinking about Poshmark VA or like looking for a solution or wondering if it's even worth it, I would say absolutely yes. And if you want to try it free for 2 weeks, I have a link down below. And then you only pay if you want to continue it after the 2 weeks. All right, the next one is, these are Allbirds. I bought an Allbirds box from Boutique by the Box. These are men's R&R sweatpants. And this Allbirds box, I bought this, when did I buy this box? I bought this box back in August, and a bunch of the stuff sold really, really fast. And then the rest of it has got like zero attention. So this one actually sold on Poshmark by offer for $36. These pants, I paid $7.18 per item on that box. So I'd say that's pretty good. These are going in my man mailers. They are like festive holiday green, but they're plain. I always send my men's clothing in the plain ones because I think I talked about this before. I don't know if dudes want to receive really girly packaging. Next ones too. These are jeans. These are men's Madewell 1991 straight leg jeans in black. These have been hanging around for a while. And you know, actually yesterday, Sunday, I did closet clear out on Poshmark, and I dropped prices on like 200 items, and a lot of the men's stuff sold, not complaining. So this one, I dropped the price by 10%, and then somebody new liked the item. And then my Posher VA sent another offer for an additional 10% off with the discounted shipping, which is how I sold these. So they sold for $38 in all. At the end of the day, I bought these in June and they sold in November for $11.32 per piece. These were from a Boutique by the Box pallet. I've ordered pallets from Boutique by the Box 3 times. This was out of the third one, the most recent one technically, but I haven't ordered one since June. So I think actually with the holidays coming up, I think it might be time to think about another one. I have in the past, and I never delete videos off my YouTube, so if you really want to know, you can go back and look at like last year's videos around this time or even 2 years ago. And I do not make the smartest sourcing decisions during like the end of Q3 or like right before the holidays, because I feel this need to like really beef up my inventory with new with tag stuff for the holidays. And I end up just making some really poor decisions. And so I have vowed not to do that this year. And so I say all that to say, the J. Crew Madewell palettes from Boutique by the Box have been pretty solid performers for me. So if I am going to stock up on new tag inventory, it would probably be that and not the type of stuff I was doing last year. My gosh. I'm telling you, like, some of it was so bad. And then I do those updates like 3 months later. So here I am like ringing in the new year with a bunch of really, really, really awful updates. I really don't want to do that this year. Although I do have some unboxings coming that hopefully won't be that bad. All right, here's another pair of jeans. These did not sell for very much. These are Carhartt Carpenter jeans. These are a size 40 by 30, which I think I've talked about before. To me, this is a cursed size. Literally, I cannot move this size to save my life. And I had a whole box of Carhartt stuff from what used to be Helpsy stores. And all of the Carhartt sold except this one pair of jeans. And it's been sitting. And finally, during my closet clear out, somebody bought these. They were reduced down to how much? They were reduced down to $14 in the closet clear out. I paid $8.22 per piece on these back in April of 2025, but I will take $14 because they've just been sitting. I've made whatever money I'm going to make on this box. In fact, I think every single thing is sold now except for this one pair of jeans is the last to go. So I am happy to see it go. Next up is this Ralph Lauren duvet cover. I purchased a ton of bedding from Helpsy Source, the Ralph Lauren bedding. And I mean, it's been a few months now, but I've been doing really well with it. I expect that it's going to start moving again now that we get closer to the holidays. This one is a full queen duvet cover and it sold for $65 on eBay. This one I paid $31.62 per piece. So I made what after fees? Not a ton, but I had a ton of this exact same duvet cover and this was the very last one. So it is what it is. I still made like 25 bucks on it after the fees. I'll take it. I have much, much more bedding to move as the holiday season goes on. So overall, I've been very happy with how this bedding has sold for me. And I get to use one of my cute snowman mailers. Next up is this Coach bag. Well, this is actually a mini backpack. This was also from Depop. And this I actually sourced for myself. I was in the market for like a backpack I could use as a diaper bag. I have 2 young babies wearing diapers. And I didn't realize how little it was. It's just way too little. And I got a pretty good deal on it for it being Coach, and it is real leather. So I decided just to resell it. So I paid a little bit more than I would have if I was sourcing it for profit because it was for myself. But actually, I do think I made some decent money on this. So this one I bought for $58.75. Again, I paid up because I was going to keep it for myself. But I sold it for $125 on eBay. So, I mean, I still made like $35 on it, even with how much I paid, which is better than a lot of the other stuff I sourced on Depop. So I'm definitely not complaining. Coach is back in style right now. People are really looking for Coach. So definitely was an unlikely profitable situation, but I'm glad it happened, I guess. I'm actually going to ship this one priority because this is one of those unique situations on eBay where it's not that much more expensive to ship it priority. I'm low on boxes that are not priority. I have a ton of priority boxes that I didn't like take them back to the post office after the whole Poshmark thing, but I would like to use them up. So I think this is a good chance to do so. And yeah, so this will go priority. The size of the box is actually better too. I really don't like sending little things in big boxes. I'd like to at least try to have the box the right size for what I'm sending out. So this will work. This will work out well. Okay, next up are these Fernie lightweight beach pants. These are the brand Prana. These are like almost like swim cover-up pants. And I ordered a Prana swim box from New Source. Well, I think maybe it was even before it was Helpsy, before it switched to New Source. And it took me forever to even open the box and list it because like for some reason the order was delayed. It took them a while to ship it. And I didn't actually get it until like the beginning of September. And so by then I wasn't really making swimwear a priority. So I finally got around to getting it listed, and it was a Prana swim box. It was all swimsuits and swim cover-ups. So anyway, I actually just listed these like a couple weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, and they sold for $30 on Poshmark. So I didn't really expect the swim stuff to start moving right now. So I'll take it. That's a bonus. I paid $3.58 per item. That was with shipping and everything. So I got these really cheap, all of that considered. And I mean, I sold them for 30 bucks. So I'll call that a win. All right, just a couple more here. I've got this. This is the brand Monroe, M-O-N-R-O-W, which I've heard was maybe not recently, you know how things change, but once upon a time it was a Bolo brand. And I got this in a mystery box a while ago. It's been here for a long time. This was the treasure hunt box from Helpsy. I got it in May of 2025. And this is just like a loungewear hoodie. It's got a hood. It's like a dark green. I guess this is more of a fall color, but it is pretty lightweight. So anyway, it finally sold on eBay for $25, and I paid $6.35 for this. So it's another thing I'm glad to see it go. I feel like sometimes pieces I get so impatient on them, and then they sell like when they're actually seasonally appropriate to do so, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I can understand why I didn't sell this during the summer. But like when you're just waiting for stuff to move, it gets kind of frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Next up is this retro Britney Spears t-shirt. This was from the Boutique by the Box band tees assortment, their most recent one. And this I sold on Depop. This is my Depop sale from the weekend. This sold for $7. My cost per goods, $6. So I did not make any money on this, but I have a ton of these, and this box, like, it's one of those things where the stuff that was gonna sell sold quickly and the rest of it's just kind of sitting. So even with like the fees, because Depop takes such little fees, I actually still made 7 whole cents. I mean, obviously, like, it wasn't worth my time if you're looking at it from the just one item. And, you know, by the time you count the mailers and stuff, it's technically a loss. But on the box, just to recover some of the money at this point, that's fine. And, you know, I love a Depop sale because the fees are so low. Next up, and actually this is the second to last item if you're still with me. These are Ralph Lauren purple label dress pants. And these are like the stretchy pant, side zip, ankle zip. I guess pretty classic style, not really in style, but also probably never really goes out of style. These were from the Jess's Gems box I ordered from New Source. And these sold pretty quickly. These were listed not even 2 weeks, and they sold for $45 on eBay. And last but not least from this weekend, I've got this Stover Ralph Lauren pillow cover. It's new at tag, MSRP $285. I've had a bunch of these throughout I ordered this box probably 4 or 5 times. I lost count, but I have a few of these left. I've sold a ton of these, and again, in my opinion, very, very profitable. So this one sold on eBay for $54 plus the buyer paid shipping. Yeah, and my cost per piece on these were $31, so $54, $31. Not the best profit, but again, looking at the box as a whole, it's been very profitable, and I still broke even on this. And this is much more of a summer type style, so excited that it sold in the fall. All right, so that is all of this weekend's sales. Pretty decent sales weekend, I would say. Had some higher dollar stuff going out, some bags, some shoes, some linens, some clothing, some older stuff, some newer stuff. So I thought it was a really good mix and a good opportunity to show you what I have going out. So again, make sure you subscribe if you enjoy videos like this. Check my links down below if you're interested in any of my shipping supplies, if you want to see where I'm getting it from, how much they cost and all that. And definitely let me know in the comments too, what was your best sale over this past weekend? I love hearing what other people are selling and what's working for other resellers. So definitely comment down below. But that is it for today, friends. I appreciate you watching. I will catch you in the next video.